Hope everybody is enjoying this holiday season. The big news coming out of Christmas, I got a great couple of surprises at Christmas time. One of which is the fact that I will be in attendance for the very first live edition of Impact Wrestling in Glasgow on January the 30th. Thanks to my friend Shan, she had a spare ticket, somebody dropped out, and my mum and brother paid for it, so I will be at the very first to be broadcast live on Challenge TV edition of Impact Wrestling. Obviously TNA have had a few departures recently, Chavo, Hogan, AJ Styles, Mickey James. There's still a heck of a lot of talent in TNA. In fact, I actually picked up in W. Smith a couple of weeks ago the official TNA Impact Wrestling Annual 2014. Now, also, I think I'm just going to the show. I think the meet and greet is really expensive. I'd love to obviously meet some of these guys. I've never been to one of these major American company wrestling shows before. The last couple of years when I was working, I tried to get the time off, but they wouldn't let me get the time off. To be honest, the management there really disliked the fact that I went to wrestling shows. So they would never let me have the time off. Even if I had, because when I went to try and get time off, it was to use up holidays, my holiday days. They would never let me, which is part of the reason why they ended up complaining to me about the amount of time of days off that I had these last couple of years. Because they wouldn't let me take them to go to these shows. But now, ironically, now that I'm not working, I'm now going to that TNA live show. Like I said, I picked up that TNA Annual Impact. There's still a heck of a lot of talent in TNA. Now, there's a lot of guys like Magnus. Who's again Magnus right there? That's Magnus there. Who's the Englishman now? TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Whether he'll be champion come January 30th, obviously that's up to TNA, depending on who he faces, whether he can retain the title. And I'm interested, very interested, in seeing what type of reaction that Magnus, if he is still, or even if he's not, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, what reaction he'll get from what I presume will be mostly a Scottish crowd. Now, as I said, TNA, lot of talent. Going through these pages, obviously a big star that probably will be there, Jeff Hardy. There's some rumours again, continually, that he might leave TNA come the new year, we don't know, but to be honest, he might be there. I'm not sure, to be honest, what I think of Jeff Hardy. I'm not a huge Hardy fan. Partly because of the drugs and that he's used. I know he's had personal problems, and I don't know the full situation. I'm not going to go and say I do, but he's good talent in the ring. Also, through these pages, flicking through this annual now for good talents that might be on. Rockstar Spud. He might be on the UK tour. He's made like an Impact Wrestling debut. I think putting him on the UK tour would be good. I've seen several matches many matches of Rockstar Spud over the years before he came, and I remember him as a little kid on the International Showdown tour that actually, Showdown event that featured some TNA and Pro Wrestling Noah and Japanese and American independent stars. Which was very good. You had a four-way match with some of the guys, really good. Obviously, it's got details of the tour on the next page. 29th of January at Dublin National Stadium, 30th of January at Glasgow Hydro, 31st of January at Manchester Arena, 1st of February, London Wembley Arena, and the 2nd of February at the Birmingham NIA. That's the TNA 2014 Maximum Impact 6 Live Tour, ImpactWrestling.com. I might actually see, because I'm going to have to check exactly who's been officially announced as being part of the UK tour. Going to quick flick through this book. Guys like Bully Ray, I hope he's in it, on the tour. There's a lot of talent, I said, in TNA, even with the departures. perhaps people like Velvet Sky, Gail Kim, perhaps. Miss Tessmacher might be on it. I'm not who else? So, some of the aces and eights. Mr. Anderson. Obviously, I follow him. So you like Mr. Kennedy in the WWE. Who else is better? Obviously, there's crosswords and kids' activities in this book. There's a bit about the TNA Eurostore.com. I don't know what the setup will be there for merchandise, so I'll check that out. I might see whether I can save up a little bit of money and perhaps buy a cheap piece of merchandise at the event. That would be good, even if it was a cheap t-shirt or a cheap piece of merchandise, an expensive piece of merchandise, not a cheap, inexpensive piece of merchandise. On the date, Bad Influence, Frankie Kazarian and Christopher Daniels. I hope they're on the show. Obviously, it depends on what the lineup of matches will be. Followed Christopher Daniels for many years, Curryman in Japan, and of course now in TNA more recently. A very good wrestler. Frankie Kazarian is an understated wrestler. AJ Styles, I doubt he'll be on the tour. They're still in negotiations with AJ Styles, so who knows at this time. Obviously, like sort of Kurt Angle, perhaps. Bobby Roode, I would love to see him on the UK tour. He's an exceptional talent. Just looking through this, Kenny King, Cowboy James Storm. Chavo Guerrero has said left TNA, but Hernandez might be on the tour. As I said, Magnus. That's a better picture of Magnus there. TNA World Heavyweight Champion now. He'll be most likely on the UK tour. I can't imagine. Now, one guy I would love to see on the UK tour. I doubt it will happen, unfortunately. I know he's been announced for a couple of TNA dates in America on the 10th and 11th, I think, of January. Would be Sting. The Icon Sting. He is my favourite wrestler, my number one wrestler. Roddy Piper is a very, very close match second with The Undertaker. Sting I have followed since the mid-1980s. When he first joined WCW, we used to get WCW over here in the UK. I used to occasionally get wrestling magazines from part of America. I followed Sting for quite a while before he won his first world title, and obviously ever since. Sting is obviously slowing down. He's not in the prime of his career nowadays, but you know, he, like it says here, he's been nearly 30 years in the business. He's been TNA World Champion on 4 different occasions, the first inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame. One of the guys who, it says in below there is nothing that Sting hasn't seen or done. He is an absolute legend. I would love if there was one TNA guy that I would love to see, because I know that Hogan won't be there. Unfortunately, he's left TNA now. But there's one guy that could be there, it would be the Icon Sting. But to be honest, I am not holding my breath. A guy like Abyss would be great to see as well. I'm glad he's getting to show a different side of himself as his supposed brother Joseph Park. Nowadays, because he has been Abyss for many years in TNA, and you know, I've actually been thoroughly impressed with Joseph Park, with Chris Park's performances lately. Watching Impact, watching TNA. So there's other guys like Austin Aries and other guys I may have mentioned. There's a lot of talent in TNA. So I'm looking forward to going to TNA in Glasgow, the Hydro. Obviously I won't meet these guys. It's just a show we're going to. As I said, there's a huge group of us, like 7 or 8 of us going through from Dundee to Glasgow. At least there's 7 or 8 people that I know, including myself, that are going through to attend the live Impact. Ouch. Nick. But it's going to be good. Really looking forward to seeing what's in store, what the setup, and I might make, if I get the chance, one of those many documentary things about going to see my very first TNA Impact event. But I'm definitely taking my camera, definitely take plenty of batteries, a few the SD cards, take plenty of pictures. Hopefully they'll come out okay. Obviously, once I get this computer fixed, which I'm going to have to hand this computer in to get fixed, so might not be able to make any YouTube videos for the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to have to hand it in this weekend, because I thought I'd got it fixed. I thought I'd managed to fix it myself, but it's still really acting up, so I'm going to have to hand it in to get it professionally looked at. But I will certainly have it back in time, or other arrangements made in time for after January 30th, and I will put up any pictures or little bits of video that I take at the TNA event on this YouTube channel.